Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Either need to hit a trigger or hope our opponent doesn't have a PG. Pick one. Pick one, chat. Pick one. Alright. No! Oh my god, I'm so bad at this game. Hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here, today with another video. Today we're going to be doing one last deck profile for this set with Turbo DAIYUSHA. Now, honestly, out of all the DP builds, I still prefer Zeal. But in terms of whether you're going with DaiKaiser or DAIYUSHA, I have a personal preference towards DAIYUSHA. I feel that DaiKaiser is a bit too slow, it's too easy to play around, and still requires you to high roll in order to actually do something substantial. DAIYUSHA, on the other hand, can go snap, go into DAIYUSHA, crit in your opponent's face. You can even damage deny at 3, like Reiji. So that's pretty neat. Of course, it's not as efficient as Reiji, but it is a possibility, and it's really strong in your face kind of deck that I think is pretty good on ladder. It's just really aggressive, it's really fast paced, you either win or you lose fast, and most of the time, if you just, do your thing, then it'll go pretty smoothly. So I guess without further ado, let's go over the Tyrant's build, Turbo DAIYUSHA. Now, the reason why this is a turbo deck is because we're going back to our roots and we're going to be playing, this unit, DAIYUSHA. Now, DAIYUSHA is a forerunner. Lets you tuck in 4 other dimension robo rearguards, including itself if you want to ride a DAIYUSHA from your deck and draw 2 cards. This card is solid. I think one of the weaknesses is that it doesn't just choose a dimension robo, it chooses DAIYUSHA. So you can't turbo into DaiKaiser necessarily, but 2 things you can do. First thing is when you're on grade 2, you can go straight into DAIYUSHA, base DAIYUSHA, get some crits, go for face. Second thing you can do is consider going into DaiKaiser and then DAIYUSHAing on top of the DaiKaiser, similar to the other build. You can also go with what you used to do back when Great DAIYUSHA just came out. You can go DAIYUSHA and then go into a cross ride, superior cross ride into Great DAIYUSHA. Yeah, but obviously I think right now your main target is going straight into DAIYUSHA, getting the crits, and then going face. Cards we use to actually supplement the strategy. Dimension Police isn't that great with card advantage generation and resources, so Brave you have to play for. This is your ideal ride target. When it's in the soul, kind of must one, put this to the drop zone. When your Vanguard hits, draw a card. Be careful when your Vanguard DAIYUSHA might hit through like PG numbers, so if your opponent's at 3, and your DAIYUSHA is at 2 crit, and you're playing something like Pale Moon or Kagero that might play mixed PGs or might play old PGs instead, then be careful not to waste your Brave or waste your DAIYUSHA swing. The 2 crit is more than enough in that situation, or maybe you don't proc the crit and you value the draw. So pick and choose depending on the matchup. Most matchups you can actually just do both, because most decks, like 80% of the decks, confidently I can say, play the new PGs, but some matchups like Pale Moon, Dark Irregular, Kagero, these decks might play the old ones. So be careful and be wary of this. Just don't like turn off brain and just go face. Even though this is a turbo aggro deck, you still need to actually think through your plays, okay? Next up, we play 4 PGs, Dimension Robo, just the name. If you really want to turbo and skip the PG, you can do that. If if you feel like you're confident with your hand and you want to just push, go for it. We're playing 3 Dailander. Dailander is just kind of must one, give one of your units +4. DAIYUSHA 10, when it hits 14, gets the crit. So 3 Dailander is, I think, pretty standard, pretty obvious. You just play it out, give your Vanguard the crit. Access the 6k booster to help your grade 2. You play some weaker grade 2s here, so helps you hit numbers. And this is a solid option overall. And we're going to be playing 2 Go Cannons. Now, Go Cannon, I think, is a very interesting card. If your Vanguard is DAIYUSHA, put this into your soul with another Dimension Robo unit, and then have your Vanguard get +1 crit. So even early on, if your opponent's at 3 crit, and your opponent's even playing new PGs, you can damage deny, because you can put Go Cannon into your soul. You call out your Dailander, you call out your Go Cannon. Dailander gives your Vanguard the extra the 4k, which means your DAIYUSHA is a 14k 2 crit. Go Cannon, both units in soul. Now it's a 14k 3 crit. Your opponent's at 3, they either PG or die. If they don't PG, that means they're at 3, they can't use their break rise and whatnot. Is this as effective as Reiji? I don't think so, because Reiji can actually sustain it, but it is an option if you maybe die braved early on your turn 2 turn, and you have the cards to actually pull it off, then it's great, especially against some decks that have a really strong breaker return, like Revengers, for example. I think if you just give your opponent the LB4, they could just, combo you to from 3 to 6. So go cannoning is an option, and we would play 2 of that because it is actually pretty solid. Next, we play 4 of the Kaizad. Now, this is the main ride target. 9+5. So when you superior ride now, your DAIYUSHA is automatically a 15k beater. This means that you don't need to actually rely on the Dailanders or your Dai Drillers as much. Of course, these help you supplement your DAIYUSHA plays the turn after. And of course, if you do miss the Dai Kaiser, then you still need to hit the 14k number. But the Kaiser actually covers that base. Even if you don't go into DAIYUSHA, that extra 5k can actually help you hit, great numbers, whether that's the Dai Kaiser or the great DAIYUSHA. Even if they're not LB yet, that 5k can actually help you hit numbers, so you can still, manage to hit your opponent's face twice consistently. We're playing 4 of the 9+3, 12k numbers. It's good numbers. Of course, you can switch this to the 10k if you value the more defensive approach. I think that because this deck is an aggro deck, the Dai Dragon is really solid. 12k numbers are really cool. We play 3 Dai Drillers, again similar to the Dailander. Don't really want to play 4 of this because you don't really need 4 of this, because you have the grade 1 to actually help you pull off the +4 anyways. Sometimes I feel like maybe playing 2 of this is enough as well. The 8k power definitely does hurt this because it doesn't really hit it's your general grade 2 intercept on your opponent's board as consistently. So numbers is a bit weak, but being able to consistently get that 4k is really valuable to me. And lastly, we play 2 Dai Heart. Now, if you don't feel comfortable with 3 Dai Drillers, you can play 3 Dai Heart instead. Dai Heart's skill is when this hits a Vanguard, if it's 13k or more, you can put a grade 3 Dimension Robo from your hand into your soul and ride a grade 3 Dimension Robo from your deck as rest. What you can do with this is you can go into that 1 Dai Kaiser, depending on the matchup, you can do that. Sometimes if you have the DAIYUSHA in your hand, well, you can put the DAIYUSHA into your soul and then go straight into a great DAIYUSHA or DAIYUSHA reverse. This way you're on 13k body. This is particularly strong against some matchups like Link Joker. Chaos Breaker Dragon does not hit those 13k numbers really comfortably. So this is it's really matchup dependent, but no Wish matchups can't really hit those 13k numbers consistently because it's not really that popular anymore. And the Dai Heart can actually come into play quite handily in some matchups that you think that your opponent that will, generate or not consistently draw into that many PGs. But will need to push you to 4 in order to actually finish out the game. For example, I think Neo Nectars is a pretty popular one. Dai Kaiser is a pretty solid, superior ride target. You go into your DAIYUSHA, Great DAIYUSHA, or Reverse DAIYUSHA, get that extra crit, go face, you win game, right? Grade 3 lineup, we play 4 Reverse DAIYUSHA. I think it's solid. It's a DAIYUSHA name. It's an option. You lock 2 to get 1 unit -10. If it's less than 6k when you battle it, when it's a Vanguard, it gets +1 crit. Be careful when your opponent hits damage triggers, then they might be over 6k. So it's not the best card, I don't think, but I think it's still a great option. The good thing about this card is that it helps you choose if you want to actually minus your opponent's Vanguard to actually get their crit, or you can actually minus your opponent's rearguards, front rearguards. And generally speaking, grade 2s less than 10k power, right? Less than or equal 10k power. So eliminate one of your opponent's intercepts actually means that you can actually attack your opponent's face twice instead of the extra crit. If your opponent's at 5, this is a great option. And then we have, of course, Great DAIYUSHA. It's just the easiest extra crit in your life. You just attack. If you have 2 or more, which you should, then you get extra crit. And of course, you have your DAIYUSHA, which is your turbo target. Even if you do miss the 14k through your support, which is really rare, I guess you can Caramelize 2 twice to get the 14. And of course, one more skill is that if this card's in your hand and it's a dead card, you can actually exchange this for, one of 3 grade 1s or one of the 1 grade 2, 9+3, or the 7Ks and the Dailander. So this is pretty solid. Again, I think it's a great card. I think you're going to be using this for a while. Great heal target in any Dimension Police deck anyways, because it's not a dead grade 3 anymore. It's actually a grade 1 or grade 2, which can be actually more useful. And 1 Dai Kaiser because it's a techable, superior ride target with Dai Heart. When you break ride, it's still a really strong card. And, I guess it's a 14k beater when boosted, so it's solid like that. And I guess with all that said, we're going to be playing 9 draws and 4 heals. I know from my live stream, I didn't play the 4 heals, I played the crits instead. That's just for memes. I think if you're going to be playing this more consistently, you do need the 4 heals. It's still important. You'll notice that because you're going really turbo, and sometimes you just put grade 2s into your soul, you're more weak on the defensive aspect of things. So the heals definitely does come in handy. But if you want to YOLO like myself, go switch it into crits and just go for face, because face is the play. So all that said in mind, let's go jump straight into a game and see how this deck plays out. I think that this deck is going to get a lot better with the support in set 16. I know that most of the support is based on the Daikaiser archetype, but you know, there are some key pieces that you might want to look out for. One of the things is that if you do like the Reiji playstyle of just damage denying, Go kind of gives you that option. Again, I kind of want to reiterate this because it is expensive and you do need to stack your draw triggers in order to actually make really good use of it, but it does come in handy and it does play a role in certain games. You know, especially against some decks that just don't generate advantage before being at LB4. It is really cool. So here we're gonna actually keep the grade 1s. I think that's fine. Kaizard is our ideal grade 2 ride target. We have Brave as our ideal grade 1 ride target. Dragon as a potential, just a dimension robo. Tech into the soul, or something that I can call out as a 12k beater. We're just gonna ride this pretty solid. The booster, I generally put it behind the Vanguard because most of the time I want one Ruger to hit face and then the Vanguard to actually hit second. That way we can actually deal some extra damage. And here we have a DAIYUSHA, which is not that great. One thing you should note is that if your hand is like 4 grade 2s and 1 DAIYUSHA, right, and you have a Kaiser anyways, maybe it's not the smartest idea to actually just turbo into Go-Yusha because you're still minusing. Maybe just Kaiser and then next turn go DAIYUSHA is probably the better play. But here, since we have so many grade 1s and so many cards that actually have utility in the soul, I actually don't mind that much. And actually we're going to DAIYUSHA this card away so we can actually tuck it into the soul. Okay, we have the Dragon. That's fine. We're going to go like this. DAIYUSHA. Hold this out to hit numbers. And we can still draw with Brave, which is really good. Extra crit is good days. Who needs combos when you get crits, right? And we hit for 2, and we draw for 1. Driller. So you keep some stuff like Driller and Dilander. You know, if we miss the ride, for example, then, you know, that one Dilander would have been really valuable. Luckily, we did it. But, you know, sometimes you just get unfortunate and you miss some cards. So it's great to have some cards that synergize, and that'll help you out when you really beat that 14k number. So they missed. It's good. They give us the counterblast to actually do stuff. One of the bad things, again, with the Driller is that it's an 8k, so it can't really hit that Collie Maker, which is a shame. But luckily, you know, we have cards like Dilander that can actually support the Driller. Let's see. Call this out. Let's call this out. Give the Vanguard +4. Call this out. So the most important thing about this deck is just hit numbers. I think that's pretty basics. But don't really force yourself to actually, you know, maximize the utility of each card. As long as you just, you know, hit numbers properly, you're applying pressure, and that's more than enough. Of course, opponent's going to hit 2 heals this turn, so that's not going to really seal off the game or proc a PG, but it is what it is. Infinite 0, a little slow, but if we don't finish off the opponent soon, they could lock us down, and that'd be really unfortunate. Holding 3 grade 3s is really bad for our opponent, but they hit the heals to survive. Hang on. So here, unfortunately, because we called out the Driller and the Dilander, we don't have enough fuel for DAIYUSHA, the crit play anymore. Kaiser, right skip. Gonna call it the reverse. Let's use the Brave, draw a card. Let's hit a trigger, no trigger. Draw one. And please, no PG. Alright. So they're gonna break ride. They're gonna skip the ride. Okay, that's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Got on. Got on. Draw trigger. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Guess we can show off the reverse DAIYUSHA. Sniping the intercept and going 3 hits to face sometimes is better than having to crit. Of course, be careful with your locking. If you're playing Heastling Joker, they could Palladium you. I forgot the grade 2. I forgot that's the reason why I put that there. Okay, that's bad. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Either need to hit a trigger or hope our opponent doesn't have a PG. Pick one. Pick one, chat. Pick one. Alright. No! Oh my god, I'm so bad at this game. So bad at this game. Are they gonna Palladium? They are! That's interesting. Okay. Gulp. Gulp. We threw. We threw that game. We threw that game. Oh my god, that's so bad. That's so bad. If you are playing this deck, just remember, don't be stupid. And okay, don't lock your boosters on the sides because your Vanguards are weak. So you know, 13k bodies. I told you, 13k bodies good against the CBD matchup. We got lucky. We got lucky. We didn't get punished. Not yet. Our opponent still has 2 heals, but yeah. Okay. Okay. Don't play poorly like me, and you won't get punished. This. You know what? They deserve this. They deserve this. I completely threw. I'm off my game. But yeah. So based on, you know, the cards that they drew into and everything, you could see that it's not the deck's fault. It's my fault. It's my fault. I played poorly, and this is what it is. If you just followed through with better play, I should have won. I should have won there. They didn't, you know, 6 like, okay. Oh. It is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah. Hopefully that showcases the deck. Again, I'd like to reiterate, it's not the deck's fault, it's my fault. Pilot it incorrectly. Remember to not lock your side columns boosters because you need to hit numbers. And 13k numbers still valuable in this meta? Question mark. And that's it for this video. Yeah. One like, one prayer for condolences for throwing that game. Hope everyone's doing well on ladder. And I guess I'll see you for big news tomorrow. Yeah. Bye.